What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and there has been a lot of talk coming up, a lot of headlines on fourth federal level stimulus checks to everybody in the nation. And we're going to be seeing if this comes up here in Congress because midterm elections, they're just 90 days away. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, take a look at some of these headlines coming out with me, you guys. Stimulus checks likely in the next recession. Economics experts are saying, they're saying, listen, with the new recession hitting, it is very likely that another round of stimulus checks is going to need to come out. Now, we had heard promise before, fourth $2,000 stimulus checks, still waiting to see if those promises are going to be kept. And we're hearing that if they are, it's likely going to be around these midterm elections coming up here very soon. And a lot of people are saying that that could be the thing that pushes Democrats to stay in control. And take a look at the headlines coming out, you guys. This just in the past couple days, how the November midterms could still surprise us, as we have heard calls for a red wave in the Senate and in the House. Republicans taking seats and taking over the majority. But what we're hearing now is, with Democrats working a way to get things done, it might be a surprise. There might actually be what they're calling a blue wall, where Democrats hold and maintain control in Congress. And let me know your thoughts. If they pass the reconciliation bill and then Biden comes out with executive actions for, say, stimulus checks, child tax credits, wiping out student loan debt, all the provisions they had promised, do you think that they will maintain control? Will it convince voters to keep them in power? Well, you guys, we're also hearing, if you missed in one of my other videos, there's over $800 billion of leftover stimulus funds just sitting there. And a lot of people are wondering, what are they waiting for? Well, it could be the midterm elections. And also, you guys, we're hearing, like I said, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer just yesterday touting about how they're getting things done. They made that deal official yesterday. They're working away on it, saying they're going to have it ready for arrival. If you missed my other video on it, take a look. Arrival is going to be this weekend. I give all the details in my last video as to what we heard from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer himself on the delivery of the reconciliation bill. And as I mentioned, we're hearing a lot of stuff is going to be happening right after the passage of that bill. Now, I mentioned to you, the headlines are coming out left and right about checks. Take a look at this one, you guys. Stimulus check update. Here's what you need to know about relief payment checks. And they're saying relief checks, stimulus checks, inflation checks, recession checks. There's a lot of checks coming out right now on various different levels. And you guys know that here on the channel, I'm keeping you up to date on them. I've got some more updates for you. Take a look at this. Here's one to expect, your $750 Tabor check. This is for Colorado. So some going out in Colorado, Florida, Texas, California, all across the nation, there are checks taking place. And as you guys know, I'm assembling a comprehensive list so you don't miss out on any of them, because there are literally tons. A lot of people are missing out because these are only available, unfortunately, for a limited amount of time. You got to be eligible. You got to apply. You got to know where to go to apply. You got it's a mess. Some of these can take literally hours to research. And you guys, I'm assembling it all into one simple, easy place for you. If you haven't already, go put in your email at www.reliefroadmap.com. I'm going to be sending that out so you can access it once it's ready. It's just quite a task. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but you guys, I'm going to have this ready for you here very soon. So add your email today. Keep an eye out on your email. I'm going to be blasting everybody just to test out the website, make sure the email system works. I'm new to all this, but I want to make sure that it's good, so that way when I send it out, I know everybody's getting access to all the checks in the nation. But you guys, let's dive into what they're saying about fourth federal level checks coming up and what's happening with some state stimulus check updates. Now, before we do me a quick favor. If you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed, don't forget, very quickly, smash the like button. Helps out the channel a ton. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on. All you got to do is very quickly hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. More content coming on that channel as well to help you learn about growing wealth and learn about what I've learned over the years from multimillionaires, business owners, that has helped set me and my family financially free, and I hope it's a blessing to you. I know right now is a really hard time economically, and any little bit of information that we can get can help. So hope that's a blessing to you as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive into these articles, get you caught up on the latest coming out right now on stimulus. All right, so link in the description below to this article that just came out 2 days ago. It says stimulus checks likely in the next recession. We've been hearing this for quite some time. They're saying once the U.S. government, the Biden administration, finally admits the fact that we're in a recession, we've had 2 decreasing quarters of GDP, which is the typical definition of a recession. They're saying that's not. But once that happens, they're saying that we will have to face the fact that we're in a recession and checks will probably be needed because people are struggling right now at this time. And they're saying, though, that the difficulty of this situation is the fact that inflation is at a 41-year high. And so they don't want to cause any more debt or any more inflation to our economy. However, we are hearing, as I mentioned, there is tons of leftover funds that could be repurposed, reallocated. The president has the legal authority, the power to do so. He can't issue new funds, but he could take existing, send it out, help out the American people. Now, if he could do that, that could help out a ton. But as we mentioned, inflation right now, it is an issue, and the White House is not yet admitting the fact that we are in a recession. But take a look at this headline, you guys. Take a look at these articles. Stimulus checks. They have been widely popular among the Americans that are facing a pandemic and rising inflation. Although the National Bureau of Economic Research hasn't officially declared a recession, one expert has said that an economic downturn of that proportion could likely prompt another round of relief. And we're hearing 4th stimulus checks. Now, Tara Sinclair, an economist professor at George Washington University, told MoneyWise that stimulus payments during times of recession have been a common policy in the past and would likely be a part of the federal response should a recession be declared. But Sinclair warned that now would be a terrible time for stimulus checks to be going out to Americans. In fact, she said it could even exacerbate the nation's existing problem. If we stimulate the economy even further, that wouldn't get us more economic growth. That would instead very likely just get us even more inflation, she said, which is the concern that we've heard vocalized from Senator Joe Manchin, which is why they're saying if we send out checks, we've got to do it in a way that we can either use existing funds or have some sort of payoff to offset the new debt that is being added to the economy, because the last thing that they want to do is add even more so to inflation. Now, in a report, the CBO said that the debt caused by those relief payments, they would increase the risk of a fiscal crisis and allow for a possible scenario where investors lose confidence in the U.S. government's ability to service and repay its debts, causing interest rates to increase abruptly, inflation to spiral upward, or other disruptions to take place. Kind of sounds like exactly what's going on right now. Now, the Federal Reserve, which at the time has said that they would welcome the upward pressure, is now scrambling to control inflation without triggering a recession. We're hearing the Federal Reserve, they keep cranking up those interest rates by 75 basis points, likely going to see some more rate increases here. And a lot of people are wondering, what is this going to be doing to our economy? Are we going to enter a recession? Is there going to be a real estate market crash as mortgage interest rates are increasing as well? We will see. Depends on what the Federal Reserve decides they need to do to slow down this rate of inflation. Now, while last quarter's gross domestic product or GDP report found that the U.S. economy had shrunk for a second consecutive quarter, a loose definition many use for deciding it's a recession, the NBER has not officially made a recession call. Under the Bureau's definition, a recession is classified as a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and that lasts more than a few months, which can take months for the NBER to determine. So a lot of times they're saying that we could be experiencing a recession. They don't declare it till after it's over. So a lot of people are saying, listen, you don't need a thermometer to know it's hot outside. They're saying right now we are experiencing inflation and a recession. We don't need an official announcement. What we need is a government to step up and step in and help out. Now, a number of states have already begun issuing out stimulus checks, as I mentioned to you guys here on the channel, to residents in response of skyrocketing inflation. But there have not been similar efforts on a federal level just quite yet. Now, we've seen this in California and in Florida, and as I mentioned, there are several states sending out checks. So you guys, we will see what happens on a federal level, and as I mentioned, I'll keep you up to date. The last call was for $2,000 of 4th federal level stimulus checks. Before that, we had Bernie Sanders, AOC, a lot of progressives, Rashida Tlaib, calling for monthly reoccurring checks. Some calling for $2,000 every single month, others calling for $1,000 every single month. Now, in the current economic situation we're experiencing, with inflation the way that it is, I think monthly reoccurring checks on a federal level seem highly unlikely, but it is very possible we could see a 4th or a 5th one-time stimulus payment, but we will see if they're going to be tapping into those existing funds. Now, in the meantime, Left and right, though, we're hearing about massive budget surpluses for states, cities, and counties, and this is due to the American Rescue Plan that sent out $350 billion in addition to the surpluses that are happening as a result of what unfolded after the pandemic. I just let you know in a previous video, the state of California alone has $300 billion with a B in excess funds. Just to let you know, the third stimulus check that went out across the nation of $1,400, that had an overall price tag of $400 billion. That means that the state of California alone could send out a stimulus check to everybody in the nation of almost roughly $1,000. That's how much excess funds that the state has. So do not discredit these states, cities, and counties. There is a lot of money left over, and we're hearing a lot of checks are going to be issued here, already have been, and are on the way. Now, here's an update for you. Take a look at this. Here's when to expect 750 Tabor check. Colorado tax filers can expect their rebate checks by the end of August. So you guys, Coloradans who have filed their 2021 taxes, they should soon be seeing $750 per person tax rebate checks in the mail. The money comes from taxes collected by the state that goes over the caps set by the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, or TABOR. That provision of the state constitution requires taxes collected over a cap determined by inflation and population be rebated to taxpayers. State economists estimate that the state collected more than $3.5 billion over that cap in the fiscal year that ended in June, the largest ever. So this is the Colorado Cashback Tabor. This and all the details is included in the www.reliefroadmap.com comprehensive list that I'm assembling for you right now. If you haven't put your email in yet, go do so right away. So the rebate, this comes out at $750 per individual tax filer, or $1,500 for people that file jointly. Officials estimate 1 to 2% of about 2.4 million rebates will be intercepted either partially or fully for due back taxes or owing things like child support. So these can be garnished. Now, in order to receive the checks, residents must file a state income tax return for 2021, even if they don't have any taxable income to report, or applied for a property tax, rent, heat, or credit rebate by June 30th. Now, in order to qualify, a person must have been a full year resident in Colorado for 2021 and at least 18 years of age or older by December 31st of 2021. Now, residents that have any questions, they want to know about eligibility, they have it all in one easy place here, just like I'm assembling for the list for you, www.coloradocashback.com, or call 303-951-4996. for more information. So you guys, that is going on in Colorado. And as I mentioned, there are these happening all across the nation in various states, cities, and counties. And as they pop up, I'll be sure to keep you up to date. And I'll keep you up to date on a potential fourth federal level stimulus check. We will see what Congress decides. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope this reaches you well. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, very quickly, smash that like button for me. Helps out the channel a ton. Also, leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date, it's free. Why not? Come join the Ram fam. Hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. Any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. Best way to get a hold of me directly. Consider joining my second channel, Steve Ram Finance, to learn about growing wealth and personal finance. And again, www.reliefroadmap.com. Enter your email to get access to all the checks in the nation. But with that being said, you guys, hope that you and the family have a blessed weekend, have a blessed Friday evening. I will catch you in the next video. We might be hearing about tomorrow the passage of the reconciliation bill. I'll be sure to keep you up to date. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.